I'm here with Jim Elliott and Bill Kilfoyle, who some 35 or 40 years ago managed to get going a program to have the embassies finance local cost projects in developing countries. And that program is now developed into a program of several $1 million. And I think those projects are the most useful and effective development assistance that the Canadian taxpayer pays for. So, Bill and Jim, can you tell us how you got this going?
Well, we were starting off with the first program in Latin America, Jim, back in the early 70s, and we go to Colombia. And we said, well, we'll get the trade commissioners to help us because they're action-oriented chaps. And we had this idea that we could do it pretty well with technical assistance, but it was not quite as fast as we had hoped. Do you remember that?
Well, yes, I remember very well. It was kind of like pushing a rope because we had two bureaucracies involved in all this because we couldn't act without the Colombian government asking us to, in effect, and trying to find a project that would fit within our guidelines, such as they were, and would fit within the Colombians' guidelines was virtually impossible. It was very hard to get something that everybody could agree to.
We finally did get some. There was one with nurses or some nurses training or something.
We did. This was a very, very small, cheap one. There were some Canadian nuns in the country, and they had a school, which they had some girls that were graduating from the school, probably about high school level, and they wanted these girls to get nursing training, and they needed some money for these girls to live in Bogota while they went to school and pay the tuition and so on. This was not a lot of money, and it looked like it would actually do some good. So we went to you, actually, Bill, and I think you agreed to.
I remember that. These were very small. We were trying to spend, I don't know how much it was for the entire country, but we needed commitments, we needed disbursements. And these little projects, there was a tendency to overlook them in favor of, the big one that you could get a chunk of money out of it. But anyway, that was really successful.
It was, except that when the girls went through the nursing training, they did go back to their area, which girls from Bogota probably wouldn't have done. They did go back to their area, but they could not do the district nurse job in this area because they couldn't travel. There were no roads, they had no vehicles. What they needed was mules.